The output of photovoltaics and the production and sales of new energy vehicles have ranked first in the world for many years in a row. A total of nearly 30,000 green products have been promoted, 3,616 green factories and 267 green industrial parks have been built. The value-added energy consumption of industrial units above the designated size has dropped by more than 36% in the past 10 years. The dazzling figures have shown the footprints of China's accelerated construction of a green manufacturing system in recent years. Thanks to the continuous increase in the supply of green products, the continuous catalysis of digital technology, and the gradual improvement of the technological content of the industrial structure, my country's industrial manufacturing is becoming more and more green. The production tempo in the workshop has been accelerated by 15%. On May 31st, the reporter walked into the assembly workshop of GACAN new energy vehicles located in Panyu District, Guangzhou City, and saw that each new energy vehicle had undergone a series of digital and intelligent processes such as stamping, welding, painting, and final assembly. After the production process, it is going offline in an orderly manner through quality inspection. Before, the average production cycle of the workshop was 60 seconds per unit, that is, one car rolled off the assembly line every 60 seconds. But recently, because the order demand is greater than our production capacity, in order to respond to market demand better and faster, the production cycle has been accelerated. 15%. Zheng Chuntai, Deputy General Manager of GACAN New Energy Automobile Co., Limited, told reporters. It is understood that from January to April this year, the cumulative sales of GACAN new energy vehicles reached 119,000 units, a year-on-year increase of 1.2 times. This busy production scene is a vivid portrayal of the booming production and sales of green products such as new energy vehicles in my country in recent years. In 2022, my country's sales of new energy vehicles will reach 6.887 million, a year-on-year increase of 93.4%, ranking first in the world in production and sales for 8 consecutive years. From January to this year, the sales volume of new energy vehicles in China reached 2.222 million, a year-on-year increase of 42.8%. The rise of independent brands and the continuous improvement of export strength. Industry is a major energy consumer, accounting for 65% of the country's total energy consumption. The report of the 20th National Congress of the Communist Party of China pointed out that it is necessary to improve the regulation of total energy consumption and intensity, focus on controlling fossil energy consumption, and gradually shift to the dual control system of total carbon emissions and intensity. In this battle of industrial green and low carbon transformation, a new combination of green energy products such as photovoltaics, energy storage, and hydrogen energy shone on the scene, driving industrial processes from thermal carbon drive to electric hydrogen drive. At present, my country's photovoltaic output ranks first in the world for many years in a row, surpassing hydropower for the first time to become the second largest power source in the country, and has entered the low price era from the parity era. Energy storage is about to be commercialized on a large scale. As a key energy storage material, the cost of positive electrode materials is also declining. As the cost of photovoltaic wind power and electrolyzer equipment in my country enters a downward path, it is estimated that in the next 20 years, the contribution of wind and solar hydrogen storage to carbon emission reduction will exceed 80%. Senior of GCL Group Lan Tianji, partner and co-CEO of GCL Technology, pointed out. According to data from the Industrial and Information Carbon Neutralization Carbon Defeng Research Center, as of May this year, my country has promoted nearly 30,000 kinds of green products, and established a green product supply system from basic raw materials to terminal consumption. Renewable energy power generation is equivalent to reducing domestic carbon dioxide emissions by about 2.26 billion tons. Among the top 10 wind power machine manufacturers in the world, Chinese companies account for 6. Digitization becomes an accelerator to achieve the double carbon goal. Incorporate robot employees into the establishment, and find non-traditional, high-potential carbon reduction processes through artificial intelligence. Digital twins and other technologies, build their own digital centers and digital smart cockpits from headquarters to grassroots business units, set up corporate big data analysis division, to create a digital dashboard. According to Lan Tianji, as a green and low-carbon pioneer enterprise, all manufacturing processes of GCL must be green and digital. It is not difficult for GCL to make such a request for itself. The rapid development of the digital economy has provided new ideas and methods for supporting and empowering the green transformation of the economy, and has become an accelerator to accelerate the green transformation and achieve the double carbon goal. On the one hand, digitalization can detect the whole production process in real time, and timely adjust the production operation management method according to the demand changes, greatly improving the efficiency of resource allocation, and helping to save energy, reduce emissions, and reduce consumption in the whole production process. On the other hand, digital technology can alleviate the degree of information asymmetry, reduce the uncertainty of enterprises in R&D and innovation, and then encourage enterprises to engage in more innovation activities and reduce carbon emissions per unit of output value. From single unit, single equipment green transformation schemes to the establishment of a systematic and standardized carbon emission management system, more and more companies are now developing innovative and achievement transformation, continuously improve its own green and low carbon management level, and enhance the company's competitive advantage. Duohuajuo New Materials Co., Limited has formed an intelligent energy system covering the whole process, realizing the intelligent management and control of the whole life cycle of energy from digital collection, visual presentation, automatic analysis to intelligent scheduling, and forming a system covering intelligence, energy storage, energy utilization, and energy saving. Intelligent management and control of the whole process. Tianneng Holding Group starts from ecological design, realizes waste reduction through source prevention, realizes resource utilization of waste through process supervision, and minimizes waste discharge through end-of-term treatment, so as to eliminate the three wastes in the industry in the process. It has become a pioneer in this field. According to data from the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, the numerical control rate of key processes and the penetration rate of digital R&D and design tools in national industrial enterprises, which reflect the level of industrial digitization, have reached 58.6% and 77% respectively, an increase of 34% and 28.2% compared with 2022, promoting the production efficiency of smart manufacturing demonstration factories increased by 34.8%, and reduced carbon emissions by 21.2%. Driven by digital transformation to change production methods, the trend is clear, but challenges remain. Compared with developed countries, there is still a lot of room for improvement in the overall digitalization of green manufacturing in my country, and there is still a big gap between the East and the West. Shan Zong, an academician of the Chinese Academy of Engineering, said. Therefore, it is necessary to increase the willingness of enterprises to actively invest in the implementation of green manufacturing, increase investment in green manufacturing technology research and development, and overcome key core technology shortcomings and other issues as soon as possible. Break and establish simultaneously to help high-end industrial structure. Inside the airtight device, the temperature is around -100 degrees Celsius. A new type of steel from Bao Steel Group Meishan Iron and Steel Co., Limited, hereinafter referred to as Megon, is undergoing extreme cold conditions testing. At the same time, another new type of steel is undergoing mechanical tests such as strength and toughness on the tensile test device. Constructing a high-end industrial structure with high technological content, low resource consumption, and less environmental pollution has been the main task of Meishan Iron and Steel Co. It has achieved a number of iconic innovations such as the world premiere of chrome-free ultra-low-lead double-green tin-plated products, and has been shortlisted for the top 10 patent applications in the global steel industry. After equipment develops towards digitization and intelligence, it can continuously promote the development of smart parks and green manufacturing parks, optimize the energy structure and save energy and efficiency, which is also an important role in accelerating the realization of new industrialization and industrial structure adjustment. Shan Zong said. In recent years, my country has grasped the key to industrial structure adjustment, breaking up and developing simultaneously, focusing on reducing excess and outdated production capacity, adding new growth drivers, and gradually changing the extensive development model that relies too much on growth. According to data from the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, during the 13th five-year plan period, my country has withdrawn more than 150 million tons of outdated steel production capacity, and the excess cement production capacity has reached about 300 million tons, and the strip steel has been fully cleared. At the same time, the advanced manufacturing industry continues to grow and develop. In 2022, China's high-tech manufacturing and equipment manufacturing industries accounted for 15.5% and 31.8% of the designated industries, respectively, an increase of 6.1% and 3.8% compared with 2012. Expanding new industries, activating new engines, and taking a new path to break the constraints of industrial development resource links are inseparable from regional synergy. As one of the earliest areas in China to lay out new energy vehicle tracks, the output of new energy vehicles in the Yangtze River Delta has accounted for 38% of the country, which is equivalent to 1 out of every 3 new energy vehicles produced in the Yangtze River Delta region. In order to develop new energy industry clusters, the provinces in the Yangtze River Delta have made big moves. 4 of the top 10 leading companies in the world for power battery installed capacity are located in Changzhou, Jiangsu. The region proposes to maintain its leading position in power production capacity and form a large-scale agglomeration effect. Zhejiang proposes to implement the 415X Advanced Manufacturing Cluster Cultivation Project this year, to create a 100 billion level characteristic industry group for new energy vehicles and parts, and Hui has made it clear that it will build a development pattern with pure electric vehicles as the mainstay, plug-in hybrid power as the supplement, and hydrogen fuel demonstration, forming a trinity of vehicle parts aftermarket, a new ecology of automobile development. Regarding regional industrial layout, the 14th Five-Year Plan for Industrial Green Development has already formulated a clear construction plan for each region's resource endowment and industrial development foundation. For example, in the Beijing-Tianjin-Hebei region, it is necessary to build large-scale tailings and waste rock production projects such as sand and gravel aggregates, strengthen the efficient use of unconventional water such as wastewater, seawater, and recycled water in high water consuming industries, and encourage leading companies to carry out green partner supplier management, integrate and optimize the regional green industrial chain, the Yellow River Basin, in accordance with the principle of water production, strictly control the blind expansion of coal, chemical, non-ferrous metal, steel, and other industries, and guide the coupling development of new coal chemical industry and petrochemical, steel, building materials and other industries, promote the recycling of water resources in industries such as iron and steel and coal chemical industry, and make full use of municipal sewage and reclaimed water. The reporter learned that the next step of the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology will be to accelerate the high-end transformation of the industrial structure, promote the exit of backward production capacity in accordance with laws and regulations, insist on curbing the blind development of too high projects, cultivate and strengthen strategic emerging industries, and optimize the layout of regional industrial development. The implementation of the 14th Five-Year Plan is a critical year, and my country's industrial green development is getting better. Zhao Gao is very well known in Chinese history because he was good at observing words and demeanor, flattering, and won the appreciation of the first emperor and his son Hu Hai by keeping a low profile. He concocted 7 big lies and practiced the Confucian line of restoration and retrogression of prospering and destroying the country, inheriting the peerless world, and elevating the human has ruined the unified country created by Qin Dynasty. Discuss Zhao Gao's 7 big lies that have been poisoned through the ages. What kind of mirror should be given to others? 1. What are Zhao Gao's 7 big lies? 1. Lied about the inheritance and launched the Dun coup. In October 210 BC, Qin Shi fell ill during his 5th tour. He summoned Zhao Gao, who was also in charge of the emperor's seal, and issued orders, and asked him to draft an edict for his eldest son Fusu, and ordered him to entrust the military to Meng Tian. Rushed back to Xianyang to preside over the funeral. This has actually confirmed the identity of his successor. Zhao Jiayin was vicious, and was always hated by his son Fusu. Li Si excluded his colleagues and poisoned his best friend, and was also shamed by Fusu. If Fusu ascends the throne, he must use the 2 brothers Meng Yi and Meng Tian. Meng Yi once strictly enforced the law and sentenced Zhao Gao to death. Qin Shi opened his eyes and said, "Gao committed a serious crime, and the king of Qin ordered Meng Yi to rule by law. If he dare not commit crimes, he should be considered a high crime. When he dies, he will be removed from his eunuch status." The emperor treats him with a high level of integrity, pardons him, and restores his rank. Meng Tian holds a heavy army in his hand, will 300,000 people, vibrate the north, and support the Soviet Union to supervise its army. Zhao Gao was worried that the crown prince's supporting Sudeng was not good for him, so he not only withheld the edict and refused to issue it, the book has been sealed, and the CRRC government ordered Zhao Gao to carry out the seal office, and no envoy was given. However, Hu Hai's succession to the throne is easy to control. They forged a will and told a big lie to let Fu Su and Meng Tian commit suicide and help Hu Hai ascend the throne. 2. Maintaining lies and implementing sit down and punish the clan. In order to prevent the Sand Dune coup from being exposed, Zhao Gao persuaded Hu Hai to kill in order to maintain the stability of the regime, and entrusted him with the power of life and death. Zhao Gao lied about the charge of rebellion and kicked off the massacre in Xianyang City. The first strike forced Meng Yi and Meng Tian to commit suicide on the charge of the first emperor wanted to establish a crown prince, but Meng Yi blocked it, which is really an act that endangered the country. Immediately afterwards, Zhao Gao killed 12 brothers of Hu Hai and crushed 10 princesses in one go in Xianyang. Then, Zhao Gao squeezed out officials who dared to speak out, and installed a large number of cronies. His brother, Zhao Chen, was named the magistrate of CRRC, his son-in-law, Yan Li, became the magistrate of Xianyang County. It also blocks group discussions and prevents the second king from contacting other people. 3. Yellow Dog Sai Li Si was killed with lies. When the anti-Qin uprising was surging, in order to alleviate class conflicts, Li Si, Prime Minister Feng Qiuji and General Feng Ji wanted to persuade Qin heir Shi Hu Hai to stop building the Yifang Palace and reduce some corvées. Zhao Gao knew that Hu Hai was disturbed when he was indulging in wine, sex, and playfulness. And whenever Hu Hai was hanging out with concubines, Zhao Gao sent someone to inform Li Si, the emperor is idle and can do something. Several times in a row, the second yelled, "Old thief Li Si, I look down on me because I am young." Is it? Zhao Gao lied. Li Si participated in the conspiracy of Shekyu, and he probably wanted to be crowned king, and he lied that Li Si and his son Li Yu conspired against each other. Hu Hai immediately imprisoned Li Si, Zhao Gao tortured Li Si, and Li Si was forced to admit treason. Yellow Dog, go to Shankai Dongmen to chase the cunning rabbit, can you still do this? This is the famous Yellow Dog Sai, so the father and son cried for each other, were tortured and cut in half, and exterminated the 3 clans. 4 lies pointing at a deer as a horse in an attempt to usurp the throne. After Li Si's death, Zhao Gao became the prime minister. He decided all matters big or small. He almost became the emperor. He gradually ignored Hu Hai and wanted to usurp the throne. Just did an experiment. Zhao Gao wanted to cause chaos, and was afraid that the officials would not listen, so he set up a test, trying to test it, first, and presented a deer to the second emperor, Hu Hai, the second emperor of Qin, and said, "Ma Yet." The second generation laughed and said, "The prime minister is wrong? Call a deer a horse. Ask the left and right, the people around you, the left and right are either silent, or they say horses and follow Zhao Gao. Or those who talk about deer, Gao Yin, those who talk about deer in the shadows use the law. All the later officials are afraid of Hai." For those who told the truth in the experiment of pointing a deer into a horse, Zhao Gao believed that they were unwilling to submit to his command, so they imposed various crimes on them, and were either expelled from the court or killed. 5. Use lies to monopolize power. After Hu Hai came to the throne, the doctor ordered Zhao Gao to be gracious and unrestrained, and punished many people with personal grievances. He was afraid that the ministers would come to the court to play and talk about it. Zhao Gao fabricated a lie. The reason why the Son of Heaven is honorable is that he must maintain his majesty at all times, so that people only hear his voice but not his appearance. Your Majesty is still young. If you inadvertently expose your weaknesses in front of all the ministers, you may be a threat to the world. People ridicule. Therefore, it is better for your Majesty to handle political affairs in the inner court, and be assisted by humble officials and others. In this way, everyone will praise the emperor's sage. The evil of the elder king is a small crime, the evil of meeting a king is a great crime. Hu Hai has been fond of sensuality since he was a child, especially for entertainment. In ancient times, there was a kind of song and dance called Myo to drive away epidemic ghosts. Hu Hai especially liked this kind of song and dance with ghosts and gods. So Hu Hai no longer went to court, and blindly sought pleasure, singing and dancing, hanging out with concubines and concubines, indulging in wine and sex, and entrusting the affairs of the court and the public to Zhao Gao as an agent. Sit back and relax, and be pampered with all your ambitions. As a result, the way of speech was blocked, and most of the court's decision-making power fell to Zhao Gao's hands. 6. False reporting of military intelligence caused the collapse of the great Qin Dynasty. Zhao Gao deliberately made Qin Ershi lose contact with the outside world. In 207 BC, Chen Shen and Wu Guan launched an uprising, and the rebels from all over the country had been fighting against Qin for 2 years. A little thief can't make a name for himself. Hu Hai actually believed Zhao Gao's nonsense and continued to spend his days and nights. From the east of Han Pass, it has been completely swept by the rebel army. Once the Han Pass is broken, there will be a flat river, and Xianyang has no danger to defend, can no longer hide, and has no soldiers to move. Qin Tu adopted Zhang Han's suggestion, pardoned all the prisoners who were doing coolies in Lishan, formed a powerful army, defeated Chen Shen's rebel army, and Chen Shen was beheaded. Zhao Gao was ruthless, and the central route army led by Zhang Han was besieged by Xiang Yu. At the time of life and death, Zhang Han sent an envoy to ask to see Qin Tu, and he severely punished the soldiers who reported the military situation on the front line. As a result, after the Battle of Zhulug, Zhang Han saw that the situation was over, so he had no choice but to lead his army to surrender to the rebels. In Dakan, the sky fell to the southeast, and the earth fell to the northwest. 7 lies to eliminate thieves and launch the Wanji Palace coup. Hu Hai lived in the lies woven by Zhao Gao until the rebel army approached Xianyang. Hu Hai sent an envoy to question Zhao Gao. Didn't the Prime Minister always say that the thieves in the Kanto region can't make a fortune? How did it come to this point today? Suspicious and dissatisfied with himself, he launched the Wanji Palace coup with his brother Zhao Cheng and son-in-law Yan Li. Qin Tu went to visit the Yi Palace. The envoy asked Gao Yi to thieves. Gao feared. Nadian and his son-in-law Xianyang ordered Yan Li and his younger brother Zhao Chenmu to say, "I will not listen to the advice, the matter is urgent, and I want to blame it on you. My ancestor. I want to put it on the top, and I will set up a son-in-law." Zhao Gao asked his son-in-law Xianyang Ling Yan Li to lead his soldiers to attack Wanji Palace with the Lang Zhongling as the internal response, and the fraud as a big thief, and Ling Li summoned the officials to send soldiers, and the Lang Zhongling Zhao as the internal response, and Zhao Gao was in charge of commanding the overall situation. Facing Xianyang commander Yan Li rushing in, Hu Hai urgently summoned the guards in the room to rescue him, but there was no guard around the clinker, only an eunuch was left to protect him. Qin Ershi asked the eunuch why he didn't tell him that the matter was so serious. The eunuch replied, "Anyone who speaks the truth will be punished. I am alive today because I did not tell the truth." 2 the 7 mirrors of Zhao Gao's 7 big lies. Thinking carefully about Zhao Gao's 7 big lies, there should be 7 mirrors. 1 A lie is a necessary fig leaf for evil. Because of creating crimes, lies are most needed as an excuse. Because of committing crimes, lies are most needed to cover up. Because of hiding crimes, lies are most needed to clear. It can be said that evil is the root of lies, and there is no lie without evil. The bigger the lie, the deeper the evil, the biggest lie, there must be the biggest evil. Lies make evil, and lies are an integral part of evil. Evil is closely connected with lies, and lies are twinned and symbiotic sin. 2 lies that were standard in officialdom in Chinese history. As long as there is officialdom, there will be lies, and lies have always accompanied officialdom. But Zhao Gao's 7 big lies, as the standard equipment in the officialdom, are that they remain unchanged from time to time. They are all common lies of court political deception, are common lies of extreme tyranny to block speech, and are all common lies of launching a palace coup. In this sense, Zhao Gao is not dead, Zhao Gao is eternal. 3 The biggest lie is pointing at a deer as a horse. Usually tell a lie, or put on a gorgeous coat, or have something to cover and rely on. But those are all small lies, and the real big lie is to tell a lie in public. The person who tells the lie knows that you know it is a lie, and you know what is hidden under the lie, but they can tell lies without any scruples, because anyone who dares to those who blatantly fabricate lies, stare at nonsense and no one dares to refute them must hold a heavy weapon in their hands, and under the power of lust, people dare not expose the lies, and they are even more inclined to flatter and flatter the lies. Calling a deer into a horse should be the #1 lie of all time. 4 Confucianism packaged with lies is restored and retrogressed. Confucianism founded by Confucius, no matter how hypnotized it is, the core of its theory is restoration and retrogression. As an out-and-out Confucian believer, Zhao Gao immediately changed the legalist rule of the country determined by Qin Shi Huang after he took over the power, and implemented a Confucian restoration and retrogression route of prospering and destroying the country, following the peerless world, and elevating the people. Confucianism full of benevolence, righteousness, and morality, full of male thieves and female prostitutes, full of the two words cannibalism, is vividly reflected in Zhao Gao. And Zhao Gao, who packaged it in the name of Confucianism and carried out the restoration, will be in place for thousands of years. 5. The ugliest lies that no questions are allowed.
加油，拜拜！你1
It's
点钟
not
上课
terrible。to create referring to a stag or a horse, because it is better to be able to listen than to be able to speak. People have basic discernment, and besides, rumors stop at the wise. The most frightening thing is that a lie is created, but it is not allowed to argue, doubt, let alone explain it. It must be agreed, and must be praised. If you say you rebelled, you will rebel. If you say you rebelled, you will rebel. If you say you hanged yourself, you will hang yourself. No, yes. If you don't agree, I will let your head move, and I will make you shut up completely. 6. The harmony under the lie is terror. Knowing that this is a lie, but under the power of lust, they don't want to, can't, and dare not tell the truth. In this way, the scholars and the Jian shall shut up, forming a harmony that everyone is happy with. This kind of harmony packaged by lies deprives evil of supervision, prevents the bad guys from being punished, and allows the bad guys to run amok. This Dakin who dare not tell the truth, let alone allow it to be told, is destined to be a Dakin full of lies, and also a Dakin full of crimes. 7. The reform of lies is notorious. Just after the first emperor's funeral, the second emperor returned to Xianyang for a new round of tour, and reforms were about to be carried out. The Chronicle of Qin Shiwan, the core of the reform is to form the central army, recruit 50,000 talented people to guard Xianyang, set up the central treasury, reduce the transfer of bean millet and kudeo to counties and counties. Zhao Gao, who left power behind, led the reform and revision of Qin law. Zhao Gao's use is profound, that is, under the pretense of reform, he brought private goods. In the end, a civil upheaval was aroused, and the world was in chaos. It can be seen that reform is by no means a self-label, such reform is notorious. This is evidenced by Zhao Gao. This is Zhao Gao's lesson from the past. And in order to prevent the continued occurrence of pointing at a deer as a horse, be on guard against the emergence of new Zhao Gao, big and small, and it is even more important to polish the mirror of history.